The news has broken. A quote from Colin Cowherd's show on FS1. Colin says that Chad Johnson said a little birdie told him that Russell Wilson to the Steelers is done. He didn't say it's happening. It might happen. They're in conversations. The quote was, "It's done." And I am here to tell everybody, especially if you are a Steelers fan who has been hating on Russell Wilson since his departure from the Seahawks. If you're excited about this and you want this to be true and it's happening, you owe me an apology. If you have been watching my content back when Denver was looking absolutely terrible 2 years ago and this last year, I was one of the people that was openly defending Russell Wilson, saying he has more in the tank. I promise you guys, he's still got more there. He's not the player he used to be, but he's definitely at least a top 20 player in the NFL. And you would be excited to have him on your team. And I got absolutely crapped on, dumped on, thrown away in the trash can, terrible ideas. Since everyone says I'm Glazing and I'm just a D writer for Russell Wilson and I'm just a homer, let's just go all the way with it then. As somebody that watched every single snap that Russell Wilson took in Seattle, I can absolutely guarantee you that he has more in the tank. And anyone that was watching those Seattle teams after that Super Bowl loss and after Marshawn and the Legion of Boom left or retired, anyone that was truly a fan and was watching that Seattle team with Russell Wilson knew without a doubt that the only reason that that team was ever competitive in the playoffs or had a decent record was because Russell Wilson was carrying that team. 1,000,000%. This last season that everyone wanted to talk about how bad he was, Russell Wilson had 26 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, and over 3,000 yards passing, and got benched at the end of the year. Another thing, especially if you're a Steelers fan, that you should be excited about, Russell Wilson is one of the most dependable players in terms of health that you will ever find in the NFL. This guy rarely misses games and toughs out and plays through a lot of injuries, a lot of them. And his play style, he's good about getting down and not taking unnecessary hits. You can depend on him to be healthy throughout an NFL season. He has done it the vast majority of his career. He has playoff experience, regardless of what you think, very clutch moments in the playoffs. I know everyone's thinking, oh, but the pass. No, he has had countless game-winning drives and clutch situations when it's mattered, especially in his prime. He's not the player he used to be. I get that, but he can absolutely still help any team win in the NFL. Third, the Steelers. You're replacing Kenny Pickett. Are you trying to tell me that you would rather have Kenny Pickett right now instead of Russell Wilson, even if it's just for 1 year? You can't tell me that. That's a giant load of crap. I have seen Kenny Pickett miss throws that I have a 10-year-old niece. She throws the football sometimes. I have seen Kenny Pickett miss some throws that I think my 10-year-old niece could have made with her left hand. There's absolutely no way, if you are a Steelers fan, that you're standing by Kenny Pickett at this point. There's no way. And one of the videos I put out recently too was about how the Chiefs were going to be virtually unbeatable for years to come, because I think a lot of guys are going to try to play there and take pay cuts to help that team win, because they know if I take a pay cut and I play with the Chiefs, I'm going to have a real shot to win a Super Bowl, especially the guys that have never won one before. But mark my words, Russell Wilson goes to the Steelers with Mike Tomlin and George Pickens and that pretty solid defense. They're going to be a force to be reckoned with. And I know this is a repeat of what happened when he went to the Broncos. Everyone was saying how everyone should fear the Broncos. I get that people are saying it's a repeat of that. But all I ask is that if you're calling me crazy right now, you come back to my videos in the future after they've had a 12-win season and they're the 2 or 3 seed, maybe the 1 seed, and Russell Wilson's a potential MVP candidate. I know, hold on. I know you're going to say I'm glazing. All I'm going to say, All I ask is that if that happens, which I know it will, that you come back here and you apologize to me, because a lot of people, whether they're still watching my content or not, owe me an apology for what they said about Russell Wilson when things were looking bad and I was defending him. I also want to quickly point out Russell Wilson is a no doubt Hall of Famer. And for some reason, I've been seeing people say that because of what happened with the Broncos in this last couple of years, that he's not a Hall of Famer and that he got exposed. And my question is, who is the greatest Seahawk of all time? Think about that for a second. Who is the greatest Seattle Seahawks player of all time? You can make an argument, I believe, only for two people, and one of them's won a Super Bowl. You can make an argument for Sean Alexander, who made it to a Super Bowl and lost, or you can make an argument for Russell Wilson, who went to two Super Bowls and won one of them. You could say maybe Marshawn Lynch, but he wasn't in Seattle as long. I can't think of anyone else that you could possibly make an argument for. And if somebody is the best player in the history of your franchise, how can you possibly not be a Hall of Famer? If Russell Wilson had stayed and finished his career in Seattle, they would have retired his jersey. They would have had a statue of Russell Wilson outside that stadium. In other news, this is also breaking news that came out. This was a big news day. Okay, we're done with the glazing time. So here is the breaking news that came out. Jimmy Garrappolo has been caught with PEDs. Let's face it, I don't blame him. Shit, I would too, the way he was playing. At that point, you might as well cheat and try to extend your career. I get that. And he's facing a suspension of what looks to be 2 games so far. And this is a massive story because the Raiders are going to cut this guy anyways because he was playing so bad. And I just want people to just remember the talk around Jimmy Garrappolo when he was with the 49ers and how outrageous it was. And I was one of them. I was kind of a Garrappolo believer at the time too. And maybe he really just has aged that much. He did have a serious injury as well when he was with the 49ers. Because I think there's a shot that at best, if Garrappolo comes back, maybe he'll be a backup. But I don't even know if he can get a backup job after this. He's going to get cut. And I know for damn sure I can name 32 guys I'd rather have over Jimmy Garrappolo. Could I maybe name 64? Could you maybe, if it was go to third string, could you maybe name 96 guys that are better at quarterback than Jimmy Garrappolo? Is my math right on that? That last time that he played for the Raiders is probably the last time we'll ever see Jimmy Garrappolo on a football field. I really believe that. And the Raiders, I don't know. Maybe Aiden O'Connell is going to be your guy long term, but I don't know how many Raiders fans truly believe that either. If you watched to this point, thank you so much. I sincerely enjoy making sports content. You guys are absolutely the best. Every single person that watches, subscribes, downloads it, whatever it is, however you watch it, I really appreciate it. And I appreciate your time. Thank you. Can't wait to see you guys in the next one. I can't wait to see what more stories come out because this offseason is going to be absolutely insane.